There is no question that there are problems with the stop and frisk policy of the New York City Police Department. There's no question about it. I believe I'm the only person in this race who has vowed to, when I become the Attorney General, review the policy of the stop and frisk, the entire policy. I have made that vow, that is one of the first things that I'm going to do. All of us up here agree that the innocence database is absolutely nothing more than, and I do have to call Eric out on this, I was the first one to say round up the usual suspects the other day, but you must have overheard me. I'm only kidding. We won't fight over that. But that's exactly what it does. It's innocent people, and when something goes wrong, they say round up the usual suspects and we'll find someone in that group. And that's wrong. Now, I have more experience than anyone in this race with dealing with the effects of a stop and frisk policy. I can tell you that my goal as DA, and would be the same as Attorney General, is to engage in community-based partnerships. The single biggest problem with the stop and frisk policy is what it does is polarizes communities and their relationships with law enforcement. I actually think that the policies, especially the innocence database, makes communities less safe. They talk about, well, you know, we need to get guns off the street. I have gotten more guns off the street in 1 year as the DA in Nassau County with a gun buyback program than the stop and frisk policy has done in an entire year.
Thank you. Mr. Coffey.
It was actually Claud Rains in Casablanca who said it first. I'm the outsider in the race, so I'm sort of the fact checker. There's been a lot of us talking about the database. We're all on board for getting rid of the database. Let's talk about the real hard issue, which is, do we keep stop and frisk? That's the hard issue. And by talking about the database, we're talking about we're bombing the rubble. Okay, that's going to be, everyone's on board with that. And hopefully the governor is too. That's good news. Stop and frisk can be a useful tool for preventing crime and keeping our neighborhoods safe if it's used constitutionally and appropriately. My concern about what the evidence is, and the statistics are very, very disturbing, and the anecdotal evidence, some of it uncovered by the Village Voice, the New York Times just had an article on it, suggests that we're not just stopping people constitutionally because of some articulated reasonable suspicion. There are quotas. There are numbers. Go get more people. And I'm concerned, first of all, because it's wrong. Second of all, because it very much stigmatizes the victims of this. But, you know, we've made great strides over the last few years in this city reducing crime. And a big part of that has been the support of the community, the partnership with our very fine police department. By and large, the police department tries to do the right thing until they start driving the numbers like they are now. By doing what they're doing, by having quotas, by driving folks out there to throw people against the wall for no reason other than it's the end of the month or the end of the quarter. The fact that folks in Bed-Stuy would be better off staying indoors the last 3 days of every month and quarter because the police are looking to fill quotas is outrageous. It's outrageous. So my view is we need to mend it, don't end it. And I call on Mayor Bloomberg and I call on Commissioner Kelly to turn to this now. You are at risk, you are putting at risk the partnership between the communities and the police department that's been so effective. Our communities have buy-in. That is at risk. Fix it.
Thank you.